And here we are in our new camp in a new season where finally we have some blossoming of hope. So let's say hi to Cal and Tammy. You spot Cal sitting in the dirt, picking sullenly at the grass. He's weaving it together into a bracelet. Sometimes it helps if I'm doing something with my hands, he says quietly. If I start to feel scared or upset, I just take a deep breath and try to reconnect with the planet. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll definitely try that. Tammy! This is the first time we've had Tammy meet the new people. You find Tammy in the common quarters. She is heavily absorbed in cleaning, balancing on a chair to dust high up on the walls. You always wondered who did all the really thankless cleaning around the colony, and apparently the answer is Tammy. Tammy looks down at you as you approach and gestures to turn off her hear speak. Oh, hello, Solanna, she says, pushing her bangs off of her face with a sweaty, harried smile. She's clearly been at this a while. I was just getting some cleaning done. Nothing like a shiny, clean room to take your mind off things, right? She grimaces, then seems to remember herself and covers it up with a giggle. It feels forced. Is something wrong? What? Oh, no, of course not, Tammy assures you. She hops down off the chair and gives you a brief little squeeze. Gosh, that's so nice of you to ask. You fix Tammy with a look and her smile falters. I mean, it's nothing, she says. I'm just, I overheard something I probably shouldn't have. She says, looking down at the ground. When I was getting something from the pantry, I overheard some of the adults in the kitchen talking about how the trivet stalks from the last harvest had some, weird mold on them, and they had to throw out almost all of them. She tugs on her ear, miserable. I just remember being so hungry, and if we ever ran out of food again... Tammy clenches her fist in her skirt. I wish I didn't have to hear about all the bad things. Why can't things just be good and nice and not so scary all the time? I'm sure the grown-ups have it under control. Tammy nods, resolute. Yes, there's nothing I can do about it anyway. I'm not as smart as Tangent or as strong as Anemone, but that's okay, because I'm really good at cooking and cleaning and taking care of the babies and doing all the other things the colony needs to keep running. I just want things to be nice and normal, Tammy blurts out. I wish people knew that I can hear them when they talk about scary things. Tammy sniffs and gives you a brave smile. Thanks for listening, Solanna. I'm gonna go back to cleaning now, okay? You leave Tammy in the common room, continuing to avoid thinking about her fears through stress cleaning. Well, maybe I'll help you clean this month and give you some company. And I see Mushwood. Wonder, is there anything more over here? Nope. Tangent. I don't know if my mother knew when I was born how convenient my genetic modification would be in times of crisis, Tang says, rubbing her eyes with her forearm so as to not contaminate her glove. I can work 3 times as long as the other lab assistants with very little decline in cognitive function. Oh, cool. That sure does sound useful. Oh, another Mushwood. Oh, and here's the new sports ball pitch. Anemone? Anemone? I don't know if I'm going to do anything for Vertumna this year, Anemone says, crossing her muscular arms. I know Calm wouldn't want me to just stop because of him, but it doesn't feel right. Oh, you're right. Calm wouldn't want you to stop. He'd want you to still have fun and be happy. And who's that? He looks angry. Kind of scary. But I guess Anemone's here. Hello? This new boy from the heliosphere is a couple years older than you. He's very handsome, and the missing arm gives him a heroic battle-scarred vibe. He's missing an arm? He stands tall and ready for action, even though it's a normal, boring day. The other recruits milling around the garrison give him a wide, respectful berth. He sees you staring and gives you a curt nod. "My name is Vase, Lieutenant Ovatius," he says, considering you with the glint of a challenge in his eye. "And you are?" "I'm just a kid, like you. And all of my friends." His expression doesn't change. "Is that right?" he says, with the air of a boy who's hard to impress. "Nice to meet you, Solanna. I hear it's been a rough couple years for the colony. Luckily, the heliopause came along just in time," he continues. "Don't worry, we have some of the best soldiers, the very best. We'll keep the colony safe." "And you're supposed to be one of the best soldiers?" "We train as a team, but," Vase says, then clears his throat, "yes, I've won more than my share of zero-G judo matches and virtual rivalry tournaments, even competing against adults." "Oh, wow. But being planet-side is totally different." You can tell Vase that firing a virtual gun is nothing compared to running for your life through the jungle while a wild unicorn hunts you down. "A unicorn?" Vase says, leaning forward a little, his eyebrows raised. "Did you actually say something to interest him? That sounds like a fun sport. I'd like to try it sometime." No. No. Who is she? She kind of blends in with the plants. During pollen, anyways. "You've seen Nomi Nomi around since the heliopause landed. They're around your age, and barely a meter and a half tall, only coming up to your shoulder. You've never seen anyone dress as strangely as they do." "Hi!" Their voices high-pitched and quick. "My name is Nomi Nomi. It's short for nomination." They do a little twirl and a bow. You introduce yourself and ask about their cute outfit. "Oh, this old thing? I designed it myself. A Nomi Nomi original based off the outfit of Lavandula Starlifter wears in the 3rd season of Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transformation, when she has to do work undercover as the lead singer of an idol group." They stick their leg out. "Only I changed the bottom part, and of course I have to wear my gaming gauntlets. I call them gaming gauntlets, but they're really EnviroSuit gloves that I modded so I could play holo games through them. Do you like games? My faves are Laser Fable and Digger Dog. Laser Fable is so much more fun now that we can play outside and run with room to run around. What kind of holo games do you Strato kids like to play?" Nomi Nomi stops to catch their breath, winded after their extended outburst. I guess I'd like to play Laser Fable." "You're on." Nomi Nomi helps you install it on your holopalm and explains the rules. Laser Fable is an augmented reality game where you bounce hologram lasers off real objects nearby. It's speed-based, so you're running around and bumping into each other, and there are extended house rules about when it's legal to block each other's lasers. "Oh, hey, I won." "Right on, sister." Nomi gives you a high five, then with a couple quick flicks on their gauntlet, gives you a kudos for winning. They explain this is how they always play Laser Fable with the kids from the Heliosphere, except they mostly don't want to play anymore. They just say they're too old for it. They want to be soldiers now, except Rex. He's still cool. Oh, look at them. They're so cute. Hey, Mars. "What do you think about the new kids?" Mars asks. "Most of them are very, soldiery, and I suppose that's okay if you like that sort of thing. Rex is a total hottie, though, and from what I hear, She makes a significant expression with her eyebrows, conveying something. "Well, she continues, "I just think I have a chance with him." "Oh, okay. Good for you." Now I'm a little bit scared to talk to him. The colony's full of new people. Everywhere you look, you see a stranger. It's disorientating. After growing up in a closed spaceship, you never expected to meet any other humans that weren't made here on Vertumna. You bump straight into one of those new people while you're jogging through the colony. Oof. He laughs and holds you steady, brushing the imaginary dust off you and giving you a wide-fanged smile. Hey, it's one of the kids from the heliopause. You think his name is Rex. Hello? Smooth, Solanna, real smooth. He cocks his head at you, smiling. Hi, he says gently. My name's Rex. You manage to get out a hello. You aren't quite sure why he's having such an effect on your ability to speak or even think, but he doesn't mind. You notice he's wiggling his dog ears. They can really move independently. Rex puts his hand against his cheek, looking cute and lost. Hey, since I'm new here, do you think you could help me find the construction yard? I thought I might apply for a job there. Sure, I can take you there. You walk him over to command. Everything's moved around since the heliopause landed, but the construction yard is still in command where it has always been. At the entrance, you meet Mars, filing her nails and looking like she's waiting for somebody. Why, hello, cutie, she says to Rex. Where did you come from? He looks her up and down and grins. I'm just an angel who fell from the sky, darling. That... Sir, you're trying too hard. You try not to gag as the two of them flirt. You give a loud ahem and point Rex towards the construction yard. He looks back at Mars over his shoulder and winks as he leaves. Oh, goodness. Deese, what do you think about all this? You probably aren't too crazy about it, are you? Deese looks more skittery than usual, looking around at the new defenses. There's too many people here now, he mutters. Too much noise, too many mouths to feed. Whatever's out there isn't going to be happy with us. Don't say that! Dad, Deese is trying to scare me. Even though it hurts, you find yourself wandering over to geoponics. It feels not good to be here in the place your mom loved and ultimately gave her life to, but not good either. It feels like when you have a bruise and you can't stop yourself from pushing on it because the pain reminds you the injury is real. Like your mom dying is this huge invisible wound, and poking at it forces you to feel something instead of just being numb. Your dad is taking time off of work. Your parents worked double and triple shifts during the last growing season, and now that it's over, it just feels so cruel. When people work hard, they should be able to look back on what they did and feel proud. Instead, there's just this huge gap where your mom should be. You find your dad sitting in your mom's personal garden. It's miraculously started to grow again, despite being trampled flat during the last attack and neglected during the famine before that. Still, various Vertumnan flowers are starting to sprout, as well as hardier earth ones like dandelions. Your dad looks up and musters a smile. He pats the bench beside him. Maybe I'll just sit? Your dad is good at sitting in silence. He holds your hand and you sit together, watching the bugs flit around the garden. Eventually, he starts to hum quietly. You recognize the song, an old favorite of theirs. One they used to play after dinner when they would sit and talk for hours about the future they envisioned on Vertumna. You remember sitting at their feet and playing with your blocks, letting their weird adult words wash over you. They had so many plans. You think about your mom and how much she sacrificed for the future she'll never see. Your dad puts an arm around your shoulders, and you sit like that for a long, long while. Oh, he still has something to say? Oh, no. Like every pollen season, your dad gets the shimmer. The pollen is bad this year. Thick, heavy clouds of pink. Even your eyes are a little itchy. And your dad's not the only colonist spending the week in bed. You can hear other people sneezing as you walk through the quarters, bringing him hot trippet soup. Thanks, kiddo, your dad rasps. At least he's sitting up in bed now. Your mom never got sick. Not ever, your dad reminisces. I'm not sure she missed a day of work from the day we landed until the day she... He stops and sighs. I miss your mom. I wish Instance would find a cure already, he grumbles, his hand shaking as he lifts his spoon. 3 years, and all she can suggest is bed rest and fluids. What good is all her researching if it can't fix my headache? Your dad must be feeling really sick. He never complains about stuff. You check his temperature with your holopalm, then dim the lights and bring him a cold pack for his forehead. He has a little crust of glittery pink gunk around his lips, looking cracked and gross, so you wipe it away. The glitter is just everywhere on him. It's like it's coming right out of his pores. He looks iridescent in the murky light filtering through the pollen outside. Hey, do you mind opening the window a little for some fresh air? Smells like a sick person in here. He grumbles, pushing away his soup and rolling over in bed. I don't know, Dad. Some air circulation is good so that it doesn't feel stale, but that would just be letting more pollen in. The pollen might already be everywhere, but there's no sense in making it worse. You pretend to crack the window for him, and by the time you look over, he's asleep again. The worst of the pollen fog subsides in a few days, and your dad starts to look a little better. He gets back to work, which is good, because there's a lot to do in order to rebuild the colony and get the heliopause's hydroponics up and running. You're still sweeping glittering dust out of your quarters weeks later. That stuff gets everywhere. So, I guess I already told Tammy that I would help her this month. So maybe next month we'll see if we can help Instance. The new common area is hastily constructed platform clinging to the side of the heliopause. Crews are hard at work incorporating the rigid hull into the natural landscape, creating a charming open-air place for gathering, eating, and relaxing. Just outside, you hear construction happening on new living quarters for everyone from both ships. And I'm sure they'll be hungry, so let's help Tammy. You and Tammy often work together in the kitchen. She splits her time between helping Antecedent with the children and helping her in the kitchens. Tammy's a diligent worker, though she sometimes gets a little lost because she wants everything to be nice and perfect. When you're trying to get 100 meals out the door, she always does what she's told with a smile. Auntie has been patient as you learned your way around the kitchen, and you're starting to really get a feel for cooking. On the menu today is something Antecedent and congruents call a white sauce, a creamy pale sauce usually made with flour, milk, and butter. She wants a big vat of it to serve with dinner today, and she's charged you with figuring out how to replicate it. Wheat flour is in short supply here on Vertumna, but you have a lot of taro flour. The real problem will be adjusting the recipe to use plant-based milks and oils instead of dairy. There wasn't enough room on the stratospheric for bringing livestock. Just be careful you don't burn it, Antecedent cautions you before she leaves. It's very sensitive to burning. Wait, what about float cows? Don't they have milk? You look over at Tammy. Well, she stammers, tapping her finger against her chin. We can use soy milk from the food dispenser and cooking oil, but I'm worried I'm going to burn it. I always mess stuff up. When Tammy improvises in the kitchen, things usually go wrong. You have no reason to think that this time will be any different. Well, I'll help you. Tammy smiles and blushes. Oh, okay, Solanna. She bustles off to get the ingredients. You both consult congruents on the original Earth recipe, but after a while, it's clear Tammy is cooking absolute circles around you. You are wary about substituting so many ingredients, but one of Tammy's strengths is that she's totally fearless in the kitchen. She'll try anything twice. She hums and sways from foot to foot as she stirs the sauce, completely at ease. An hour later, Tammy has a small portion of prototype sauce to taste. Because of the taro flour, the white sauce is actually more of a faint purple. It's a pretty color, especially on Tammy, who has it flecked across her apron and onto her tied back hair. She looks proud and a little worried. What do you think? You dip the back of the spoon in the sauce and give it a try. It's good! Like, really good. Your surprise must show on your face because Tammy laughs with relief. Oh, I'm so glad, she says, clasping her hands in front of her chest. I thought we did okay, but I wasn't sure. I'll make a huge pot of it right away. Thanks for your help. Your lilac sauce causes a huge stir at dinner, but it doesn't feel right taking any of the credit. Tammy did most of the work, and she deserves to feel pride you feel radiating off her from the other side of the lunch line. Well, I'm glad we were able to make something good. And we're able to feed and provide for the colony. And I guess we'll see what Cal has to say and help instance in the lab next time.